David from EAC. This afternoon I'm here with David Colman from CCE Consulting and Training. Yesterday I was at a meeting of our members in Illawarra, and I took note of the number of principals that have been in the business for a long time, and it brought up the subject of succession planning for me. David, can you tell me what's happening out there in the marketplace in regards to succession planning and agents that may be looking to retire or get out of the business?
David, thank you very much for inviting me along today. Great to be here. Succession planning is something that is not being attended to or concentrated on enough in our business, in my opinion. It's a very, very interesting question to pose now, and what it actually brings up is a whole lot of other questions for me to ask you. So I'm just going to run through some of those questions and see how your answers go. What happens when you want to sell your business? How does it work? Who will buy your business? Do you have someone in mind within your own business who you feel might be suitable to buy your own business, which is very good. However, do they actually know that that's your thoughts? Many times we've dealt with people who think their number one salesperson will be their succession plan, and then that person suddenly runs off, opens their own business across the road because they did not think there was a future for them in your business. So communication is extraordinarily important. How do you structure a handover or a takeover to an external person, and more importantly to an internal person? Is that a gradual takeover? Is it a proportion of percentage takeover over a number of period of time? Could it be 20% a year for 5 years, 50% now, 50% later? At what stage do you lose control of your business, and how do you manage that? What is your involvement in the business once you start to structure that takeover? How much involvement do you have to bring in? What sort of contacts do you have in the business, or do you need to get out? And with the ageing population, as you said, of our business owners, a lot of the business owners really just want to leave. They're working all the way up until they want to retire or move on to something else and then expect to go immediately. And a number are finding it quite difficult. I'm working with one particular gentleman at the moment who has identified 2 people in his business who want to take over his business. We've been talking to and fro now for 9 months before we've actually got to a stage where we found out yesterday that one of those 2 has actually decided not to buy their business. So now we're down dealing with one person and a completely different set of rules. But that has taken 9 months because the initial stage was there was not a structure in place. We now have put a structure in place where solicitors and advisors are involved on both sides, and I think we'll actually in the next month or so come to a conclusion. However, it had been meandering along for quite a while. One of the biggest questions and one of the biggest things that are not being attended to correctly is the wealth in your business. Most real estate businesses are valued by the size and the value in their property management. However, when you sell your property management, you have to transfer each of those managements over to a new buyer. So how do you obtain the best retention and keep the most amount of your potential landlords or landlords in that transaction so you can be paid for them? At the moment, the current figure of transacting is you retain around about 90% of your business when you sell it, and 10% goes elsewhere. So for all the hard work you're doing now, you only retain 90% and completely lose 10%. So how do we set in a structure that allows you to retain the majority of the 10% you could possibly lose? Lots of questions, and if you're not sure of the answers of all those questions or any of those questions, very happy to have a chat with you about that and see if we can help you move and plan for the next stage. Doesn't have to be today, but you might need to plan this for several years ahead, so time to do it now. Thanks very much.